Losing myself and finding my strength, came to the conclusion that I want it all. Feeling that pressure of trying to do better. I want to reach heights, but too scared to fall. Too scared of failure. Way more scared of feeling regret from not even trying. That's terrifying. I understand that chasing my goals, I bury my clocks because it take time. I gotta go. I already know. If I want to grow, you reap what you sow. That be the case. Planting my seeds and water my base. Yeah, I made mistakes. Yeah, I know you grow in your garden, but watch for the snakes. The people that act like you crazy for trying to stay far away. They don't think it's possible. I think it's possible. That is just hate. Yeah, they hate themselves because they on the shelf while you create a life that you love. A life that you love. Yeah. Loving the fact you're improving yourself. Decided that you would not settle. Decided that you got the drive to do it. The road got bumping your foot on the pedal. You go up a level. You turn up whenever it's time for you to go put in that work. I know my worth. I know it ain't gonna be easy. Yeah, I know it hurt. One thing is for sure. Yeah. Until they put me in this earth. Before I ride in that hearse. I'm chasing my goals. I'm chasing my goals. Yeah. Loving the fact you're improving yourself. Decided that you would not settle. Decided that you got the drive to do it. The road got bumping your foot on the pedal. I'm chasing my goals. All right, and welcome back to another episode. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. If you're listening to me on a podcast platform, please leave me a review. Those things help me out a whole lot. Also, support your boy and become a monthly supporter of the channel. You can choose the monthly amount. It can be $3, $5, $8, or $10. You can cancel at any time, but why would you ever do that? I put links in the description for you to support the show. It really helps me keep this thing going. But let's go ahead and dive in. Today's going to be kind of a quick episode. If you are used to seeing my face on YouTube, unfortunately, I'm in the transition stage. As I work with my guy Bobby, he's the one that's actually in the transition stage. He is he has moved from his old studio place to another one. It's bigger and better, but with transition, it takes time. He got to set things up, and he's doing it all by himself. So it's going to be a little bit before I get the visuals back. But for now, all you get is my beautiful voice. But let's go ahead and jump in. I'm glad you're listening to this episode right now because I want this episode to be one that kind of lights a fire under your butt a little bit. I want it to be a reminder for you to start that thing, of why you need to start that thing, that goal you have, that vision you have for your life, that dream you want to come true. And I'm going to be honest, I might say some things that you might not like, but it's for your benefit and it's something you need to hear. And what it is the idea that you're being selfish if you don't go for it. If you don't go for those goals and dreams, you're being selfish. So let's get to it. And if this is your first time listening to me or you haven't heard me say this before, let's keep this thing going, okay? Please share my podcast if you like what you hear, if you know somebody that will benefit from hearing the things I have to say, right? And for the folks who haven't heard me say this ain't one of those podcasts where I tell you what to do because I have everything figured out and I quote unquote made it to the top. That's not what this podcast is. I'm on this journey with you. The things I talk about on here are things that I'm doing in my life right with you, things that I'm implementing in my life and things that I'm working on too. And most importantly, things that are working for me, things that are bettering my life. So we're in this thing together. And also, I need to say this, as humans, myself included, a lot of times, way too often, we are our worst critics. And what happens is we turn into the very thing that holds us back, the very thing that stands in our way from us getting to where we want to go. And even if you don't believe in yourself, borrow some belief from me that it's possible for you to accomplish the things you want to, that it is possible, that you are capable. But I also want to light that fire inside you so you can understand that the time is now. It's now. Not next week. Not next month when you feel like you'll be less busy. It's right now that we need to take action. Action is what's going to give you clarity. Action gives you that feeling of accomplishment when you start seeing some progress. Action leads to growth. And what I don't want for you, myself included, is to get to the end of the road, whatever that road is, and have it full of all the coulda, shoulda, wouldas of what could be if you would have actually just built the life that you deserve. I don't know exactly who all will listen to this podcast, and I don't even need to know you personally to know that you deserve that life that you have been gifted that vision for. Let me say it again. You deserve that life that you've been gifted that vision with, those goals, the dreams, the vision that you want to create. All those things are possible because you are the person that can make it happen. Nobody else has that exact same vision that you have. Similar, maybe, but not exactly the way you see it, like you want it. That's in you because you are the person that can make it happen. But you're just going to have to get out of your own damn way. So let's dive in. So I saw a quote today, and I can't remember who it was, who the quote was from, but it stuck with me. And it said, "You honor the dream by doing the work." And I love that quote. It's so simple, but it's impactful. What it's saying is that we have to raise the necessity for us to show up for our dream, to raise the necessity. We need to stop making all the damn excuses of why we ain't showing up, why we haven't started yet, making the excuses of when the time is going to be right? Because by doing that, we're not honoring the dream. We are getting in our own way. And to honor that dream, we have to go get it. We have to put in the work. We have to do the work. And what kind of work gets done no matter what? What kind of work that it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, that you will figure it out and you will figure out how to get it done. It's the kind of work that is of our highest priority. And I've used this example before, but let's say if you have kids or a pet, or you are babysitting your niece and nephew. You wouldn't ever say, "Oh, I'll just feed them next weekend because I really want to finish this Netflix episode." No, you wouldn't say that. Because not only is it a responsibility to keep them alive, but they are a priority in your life. And a lot of times we just got to be honest with ourselves and call it what it is. We don't take action because it just ain't that high of a priority. We know it should be. We want to think that it is that high of a priority. And a lot of times we do think it is. We do know it's a priority, right? But until what happens is we feel that friction, some kind of friction that we feel, that feeling that you get when you don't feel like doing it, or it's nice outside and you'd rather go to the lake, or you got to put in more work than you thought it was going to take, or it starts to get hard, right? That friction can bring out the truth that it just ain't that high of a priority for us. So we have to go get it, and do the work. And I really want to talk about this idea with you that it's actually selfish if you don't go for it. Because there are people in your life that will benefit from it. And not just from a financial standpoint. There are folks who will see you and see that what you did is possible, that you are living, breathing proof. And maybe they look like you or identify with who you are, people in your family and friends, younger people like your nieces and nephews, people looking up to you and will benefit from seeing you do it. And like I said, you have been gifted this vision. And I truly believe that part of the exchange for that vision is for you to give back to the world by showing them your vision. And you ain't going to achieve that vision unless you take that action and go for it by doing the work. And we really need to adopt this idea that it is selfish if you don't go for it, right? If it's selfish when you don't go for it because you feel like you don't have the time, right? And look, there is a time and a place. We go through seasons, right, in which we go after goals, and certain seasons require a certain pace or a certain rhythm, a faster or slower pace and rhythm, depending on where you are mentally and all the other moving parts you have going on in the world, because we all are busy people. But we have to just acknowledge that we have full plates. We all have a lot on our plates. I know I damn sure do. We're all busy people. And the last thing added to that plate, a plate that's already full, is usually the first thing that falls off when life gets crazy. I'm going to say that again. The last thing added to a plate that's already full is usually the first thing that goes when life gets crazy. So we have to raise the necessity. This goal and these dreams that I have, they don't look like anybody else's, and it's really damn important. So humor me with this one for a second. that is selfish if you don't go for it. Because if you really think about it, this idea that you have on your heart, let's say you know exactly what it is, or maybe you actually don't know what it is. Because if you say you don't know what it is, then you don't have to actually go for it. Because if you say it out loud, right, and you know exactly what it is, then you really do have to go for it. Because now other folks are watching and other folks are waiting to see what you're going to do. But let me pivot for a second. But sometimes we say what we're going after or what our dreams are, it might sound crazy to other people because they don't have the same vision as you. They can only give you advice from their own experiences. And they might not be chasing their dreams the same way you are chasing your dreams. So you might be afraid to say it out loud to them because it'll sound crazy to them, right? Okay, pivot over. Anyway, so humor me. Think about this. Think about it like this, that this dream was put inside you for a reason, that it is not by accident. It is for you. Maybe you don't have everything you need at the moment to make it come to fruition, but you have to start. You at least already have that mental spark. Now it's just time to take action so you can get some clarity. You're not going to figure it out by sitting around thinking about it. You have to just go. Literally. Plus, when you start, even if it's just a tiny little baby step in the right direction, it gives you some momentum. And that momentum will feel good. Like, okay, I did that. I can do this. Here we go. And then you just stack those days. You stack those wins, and you just keep going and going and going and going. And I really want to ask you this. So let's shift to the heart. So this heart you have, I know you really, truly want to make an impact. This vision you have, it really matters to you, right? You see big things for you with this vision, and you see it impacting other people. And maybe you don't know exactly what to do right now, and maybe it keeps you up at night, or maybe you're at work and these ideas just pop in your head, or you see something that's a reminder of that vision you have in your head, and you get this gut reaction to it. My question is, do you think that's in you by accident? Do you think that your resilience, all the curveballs in life you done gone through, all the things you had to overcome, and especially if you've tried to work on this dream before, and even though you're being stagnant maybe, it's still there. It's still in you. Despite all the problems you've had to navigate, do you think that resilience inside you is by accident? And if you're in a season right now where things are just really hard on multiple levels, first, I want to say that you're stronger than you think, and you will get through this. And two, this season is building that resilience. This only proves further that the vision you had, that you made for this, even when it feels like you're dropping the ball, you are handling this. And even when you get to that, when you get that gut feeling, and I definitely get this gut feeling, that feeling in the back of your mind, this uncomfortable feeling, and these ideas are popping in your head, and the feeling is uncomfortable because you know you got this dream, you know you could be doing more, doing better when it comes to truly applying yourself. Have you ever got that feeling? It almost feels like guilt, right? That feeling, it should be looked at as a gift, because it really is. Instead of it being a negative feeling, you should shift it to looking at it like it's a fuel. That feeling is what separates you from other folks who don't have a vision or desire to go after something. And that feeling in your gut or in the back of your mind is wanting you to push yourself, but you have to do it. You have to be the one to use it as fuel. And sometimes that feeling can cause paralysis by analysis. When you have so much in your head, you want to do so much, you're not sure where to start, which step to take first, and you're analyzing and you're thinking about it. And when it comes time to actually take the action, you don't take any action because you can't. Not because you can't physically, but because mentally, you just can't take that step. You get paralyzed. You just sit there and you can't do it. Yep, that ever happened to you? Well, you know you should be taking action, you should be doing things, you should be working on that project, and you know you have all these steps, and you think, and you try and figure out what to do first until eventually you look up and all this time has gone by and you haven't even started. And you can still use this as fuel because the thoughts are still there. That's the gift. You have it all in your head. You just need to get to it. Understand that most people don't even have it in their minds. They really don't. So don't let it paralyze you. Write things down. Figure it out on pen and paper, but do not take a whole bunch of time with that part, because you will be back at step one, not taking any actual action. Right? So write it down and get to action right away. All those thoughts in your head are your gift. Use them. It's a gift. And if you don't show up for yourself and figure out how to solve this thing, there are other people out there who won't get to see somebody like you do it. Because think about it. Most people don't dream or have big goals and dreams, and a much smaller number of them actually take any action towards those dreams at all. So what if you have this dream inside you and this willingness to do things like listen to this kind of podcast and work on yourself and take steps towards something you've never done before? What if your willingness to do all this is because you are supposed to make it happen? That is what's meant to be. Just entertain that thought. So honor the dream and do the work. Understand that struggle is part of it. Feeling like you're lost, that's part of it. And if you follow me on social media, and maybe it even comes across like that on here, but I have a bad habit of doing like the rest of social media does and only post my highlights, my accomplishments, the projects, the accolades. And people always tell me how they see me, quote unquote, doing my thing or making big moves. And I'm realizing that it could come across like I have it all together, like I don't ever struggle, like I know what I'm doing at all times, when in reality, it's not the case. I feel lost. I feel like I don't know what to do next. I get paralysis by analysis. I used to get it a whole lot more, but I worked on it. And I realized that writing things down and making a daily plan goes a long way. But I also get overwhelmed just like you. I mess up. I feel like I'm not doing enough at times. I compare myself even when I know I'm not supposed to be comparing myself to other people, because it's hard as hell not to. But I'm working on it and getting better. And I feel like I am not where I should be. I'm just like everybody else when it comes to that. All of us go through at least some of that. And understand, this is normal. This is part of the process. This is part of the journey. This is necessary. We have to go through these stages. And by working through all these things and being consistent and showing up for yourself and continuing to work on these things and go after goals and taking steps in the right direction and picking yourself up when you fall, all this is grooming you. It's turning you into that person who is somebody that does accomplish those dreams and goals, because we just ain't those people yet. We're not. And that's okay. We have to become them. And this is part of that process right here, right now. But you have to take action. Otherwise, you won't become that person who accomplishes those things that you want to accomplish. And like I always say, I'm on this journey with you, and I truly want you to grow. And I will be taking these steps right with you. So that's what I got for you today. Please become a monthly supporter of the show. You can choose the amount. It can either be $3, $5, $8, or $10. You can cancel at any time, but why would you ever do that? And I put the link in the description to go ahead and support me. But let's get to this music. I'm not sure if all of you know or not, but I did just release a music video. It's called Opening Night. It is a beautiful project. I'm going to put the link in the description as well, so please check that out and give me a like. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for my music. Let's ride out.